Glad to be back. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about myself. All right. Okay, I wanted to have a few questions before we get on to this particular boring topic. I know I'm the guy who is between you and the coffee outside. So if you cooperate with me, I cooperate with you. And remember, I don't have a time pressure. Because all the other speakers had a time pressure because there was someone else after them. See, that's the beauty. Either you should always be the last. All right. Tell me, in Nepal, what is more popular? Is cricket more popular or, as they call it, football or soccer? Well, what is more popular? No? Momo is famous, okay. I am a guy who doesn't eat momo, so let's come out of that. Okay, how many of you follow cricket? And by the way, do you know that Nepal has qualified for the World Cup? A big cheer for that. All right. I want you to know if you are aware, and I'm going to test a little bit of your knowledge about cricket. I come from India. How many players are there in a cricket match in a team? Ayo, 11. In a team. In a team, 11 people. Question for all of you is that in a cricket, like in Agile, you have Scrum Master, Product Owner, Developer, blah, 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 blah. Okay, blah, blah, blah is not there in Scrum Guide. Okay. Otherwise, the Scrum guys are going to kill me. If I would have talked in SAFe, then every role is there in SAFe, so you don't have to worry. So my question to all of you is, in a cricket, like, you know, in Agile, you have Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Development Team. In cricket, can I have all 11 people as batsmen? Which book says no? Tell me, which book says no? At least you can tell me, Ajay, Scrum Guide says only one Scrum Master. Can I have all 11 people as bowlers? The answer is yes. Think about it. Now you would be wondering, what is this guy talking about cricket and trying to connect with Scrum team and all? Kya jargon? Oh, all of you understand Hindi, I believe? Good. मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगा फिर. No, just. So now the point is that if I have all 11 people as bowlers or all 11 people as batsmen, what is going to happen to the match? You are definitely going to lose it. So the concept is that you need a right-sized team. Right-sized team doesn't mean 11 people. Right-sized team means you have people in the right role ready to contribute what they have to contribute. That is what is important. Okay, second question. How many of you have taken interviews? I'm not talking of giving up. You understand the difference between giving and taking. How many of you have taken interviews? Okay, based on all that you guys have done interviews, how many of you have hired people? And how many of you regret hiring that guy? I'm sure a lot of us. Even my boss will tell, "Arey, isko galti se hire kiya tha." Why does it happen? Okay, question number 3. How many of you believe he is my boss? I know better than him. Tell the truth. I know some of your bosses may be sitting here. So all for those whose bosses are sitting here, don't answer. But rest everyone can answer. How many of you believe that you know more than your boss? Be honest. I can see one brave guy. Okay, couple of brave guys are here. Rest everyone is worried about only one thing. I don't know if you know, all of you and me, we all have one very good friend. You know that friend? EMI. Equated monthly installment. Loan liya hai na? Bharna padta hai. So that is why you will never go again. Okay. How many of you believe that your boss doesn't understand you? I can see more ads going up. I love that. How many of you believe that your boss thinks you are a dud? You are the idiot of the first order? No? Yesterday your boss called me. Kya hai? Now, lot of times it does happen that you and I believe that my boss doesn't understand me. Now, whose problem? Is it the boss's problem? or is it your problem? Whose problem? Where is the problem? Communication. No, but you are talking Nepali language only, no? But then you are talking English. So, where is the problem? The problem is that of what I call personalities. I'm going to introduce a concept called personalities for you. So, taking no more time, let's move on. Some copyrights, time pass. Let's define the problem. Let's see where the problems are. How many times have we hired people and then later on you realize, well, that's not the good I hire. He doesn't know how to do the job. Well, he didn't know the job even before getting hired. He doesn't know the job after getting hired. Where is the problem? The problem is you and me who have hired that guy. I remember in one of my previous organizations, my boss came and told me, Ajay, we hired this guy, he is good for nothing. I said, he was good for nothing on day one also. He's not good for nothing today. It's we guys who have hired the wrong people. Our processes are a problem. And then you and I are talking about creating an agile team and collaboration and cooperation and blah, 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 blah. Kaise chalega? It won't work. The problem is you are not hiring the right people. That is where your challenges are. Have you ever wondered that, okay, how many of you are married? And how many of you think that you understand your spouse? Same thing, yaar, whether it's agile team or ghar pe ek hi baat hai. There's no difference in life. Let's be honest about it. There's no difference. Sometimes you believe why my wife can't understand it. The wife is saying, "Kisse shaadi ho gaya." I'm sure my wife always keeps on saying that. And I always tell her, you have no choice. It's too late. But then that's life. That's what I wrote. See the last one. Did we ever have a feeling that my management, my senior leadership doesn't understand me? Why are these problems happening? And more so ever, I'm going to put up a very big challenge in front of you in the next slide. See that. What is the biggest challenge of our life, our world? See what I've written? The least competent people are evaluating and judging the most competent people. This is where your problems are. I remember, don't take photographs here. I'll give you the presentation. Focus with. Because now you are getting more used to the phone than me. I thought I was supposed to be the star of the show. और फिर तुम फोन में यार ऐसे मत करो. So what I'm trying to tell you is, a lot of times, how many times do you believe that, what's your name, sir? Sugain. Sugain and I work in the same team. Then all of a sudden you find that he has got better increment than you. You all get that feeling, huh? You all get that feeling. And then you say, what? I only helped him. I did his code. I fixed the code late night. And he got a better increment than me. That's what I'm saying. Why? Because the less competent people who are evaluating Sugain and me, we are more competent than them. And that's a global truth. Global truth. Global truth. How many of you are doing agile? I know I'm asking a wrong question in a wrong forum. And still producing status reports. Now you see where my questions are going. So the problem is, competent people are judging and evaluating more competent people. That's the biggest challenge of our industry. And not only our industry, for that matter, every industry, every place in the market. Now comes the golden question. What do you hire for? When you hire a Scrum Master, what are you looking? You ask him, do you know what is retrospective? Do you know how story points are calculated? These are the questions that you ask. I don't care about these questions, whether he knows Scrum or not. I would be more interested to understand, does that guy have the right attitude? Does he have the right aptitude? These are the things that we don't care. You hire for skills and you fire for aptitude. I would request you to reverse it out. Hire for aptitude and fire for skills. I can always train a person. But I cannot go and buy half a kg of attitude from the market and give it to that guy. But I can always train. Remember that. Hire Hire for attitude is all that I'm trying to tell you guys. You cannot teach attitude, you cannot teach aptitude. And unfortunately, the world over, we have been time and again making the same classic mistake. We ask questions, what is Moscow? If someone would have said, I would have said Russia ka capital. We all are talking of, Umar earlier on was talking of OKRs. It doesn't make any sense to me if you don't have the right ingredient. And what is that right ingredient? People. People with the right attitude, with the right aptitude. Not with skills. I don't care about skills. Nobody is born with Agile. We all learned it. We all learned Agile. So why are we worried of asking questions on Agile? And unfortunately, I find this quite hilarious in my life when I go forward. So elements to think about. Do remember, people do the best what comes naturally to them. What are we doing? I remember, once I was getting interviewed and all beautiful questions about Agile and this, that was been asked, and this guy got very impressed. Wow, I'm going to an organization that is really Agile. He got hired, he came in, and the next day he was made a project manager. How many of you, someone in the morning, I think Govind was talking about Scrum Master and Jira Master. I like the word Jira Master. I'm going to borrow it. Wherever Govind is, copyright taken. All right? But then that is a problem. We are not even understanding the relationships. How many of you, I'm sure all of you work in teams? Yeah? Give me a yes. And is there at least one or two people in the team that you hate? That if you had a chance, you could go to the Tamil and buy a kurki and, hey, this is the guy who creates trouble for me. Why? Is that guy wrong or you are more right? What is it? If he is not wrong, then why he or she is not wrong, then why are you hating? Is it they don't share their tiffin boxes with you? What is the problem? What is the problem? Why do we hate people? Why don't we like people? You have to identify your personal preferences. Will you be able... Normally when I talk to people, when I interview people, the only thing that I ask him or what I try to judge is, if this guy works with me, will I be able to work with this guy? Irrespective of his attitude, behavior, whatever it may be. I look for three things: attitude, aptitude, learnability. If the guy can be made to learn things, remember, sorry, I'm going to talk in Hindi. गधे को भी चार टांग होती है, घोड़े को भी चार टांग होती है, गधा घोड़ा नहीं बनता. ये हमेशा याद रखना. Train people, hire the right guy. Unfortunately, we have been hiring the wrong guys. Okay, I have got a very beautiful quiz for you. And what is a quiz? See there, we are planning to hire a Scrum Master for a product owner, for a product development in Java. We have got 2 resumes that we have shortlisted. Considering both of these guys have relevant skills, certification, talent, experience, they are all good. But we only have one position, right? Remember, Scrum only says one Scrum Master. So this is the profile of the first guy. The candidate, he thinks before he speaks. This guy who is supposed to be the Scrum Master that we are planning to hire, the potential candidate, he does very tight delegation. He controls closely, critically. This guy anticipates problems and challenges. A good feature for a good Scrum Master. They can anticipate problems and challenges. Proactive, result-oriented, avoids risk, factual, makes decisions, at times impatient but very precise in dealing, builds structure and has respect for the plan. I want you to just take 30 more seconds and read this again. This is the profile of my first candidate. I'm going to show you the profile of the second candidate, and then I'm going to ask you, choose who should be the Scrum Master. Read it for 30 seconds. All right, done? This is the second guy. The second guy is empathetic, persuading, selling, delegates authority, confidence decision maker, motivating, drives changes, well-informed, proactive, result-oriented, fast-paced, but very informal. Now you have got these 2 guys. Remember, both of them want the same salary, similar experience, same certification, everything good. Whom are you going to hire? The first one or the second one? Why not the first one? See, he builds structures, he makes decisions, he is avoiding risk, he is anticipating problems, he thinks before he speaks, unlike Ajay Kabra who speaks anything. See, good guy. You have two guys, but why have you taken the second one? No, if it depends on the organization, then in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen. Khatam. Over. It should never depend on the organization. It should depend on what that guy is. Unfortunately, we are hiring, as I said, our practices are wrong. You guys are right that I would also go and hire the second guy. But let me tell you, if you are a management guy, you would hire the first guy. If you are the management guy, and I can see him nodding the head, and he is a management guy that I know, we always hire the first guy. That is where your challenges are. So, how do you identify these two? Whether to hire this guy or that guy, that's where the rest of the session is all about. So, have we hired the wrong person for the right job or the right person for the wrong job? Either way, it's the same. It's like heads I win, tails you lose. That's the way the world is. You know, a lot of times after you have hired, 3 months later, the warning signs come out. Oh, this guy is not working. Well, he was not working the day one also. But that's the challenge that you have. So what do? You have invested a plenty of times trying to make it work, but for whatever reason, it's just not happening. Just doesn't work. Just not working. Is it fair to leave a bad hire? Chal, one person, how does it matter? You are destroying his career, and you are destroying your own organization, your own culture. But the problem is, there are no lessons learned. How many of you do retrospectives? I'm sorry, I'm asking dirty questions. How many of you do retrospectives? Good. How many of you see the same data of the retrospective appearing sprint after sprint after sprint after sprint? Then are you really doing retrospective or it's checklist? Tick, ho gaya. That's what I'm saying. We never learn. And the industry is also not learning because we keep on hiring the same wrong guy again and again in different incarnations. We keep on hiring the same wrong guy. But that's the reality. So what are you looking at when you hire? Are you looking for skills? Are you looking for talent? Are you looking for aptitude? Are you looking for learnability? Let me tell you, 90% of us, we only talk agile. We only talk everything related to the Scrum. And guess what? If that guy is giving you a different approach, and your thought process and you have an answer that he or she should tell is not coming out the way it should come out. But let me tell you, the other guy is not wrong. You will still hire that guy because he has not answered what you wanted him to answer. That's where the challenges are. Remember, agile will come later. Unless you have the right set of personalities in your team, things will not work. The right set of personalities have to be there, and we are going to talk about personality. So guys, do remember, getting a bunch of people together and making them a team is not a team. It's just 5 people coming together. By the way, just to let you know, or asking you a question, when a lot of crows are sitting together, do you know what is that called? There's a technical word to that. It's called Congress. No, it's a technical, go and search it out on Google. So you are creating a Congress of people where it has no meaning. It has absolutely no meaning. So all that I'm trying to tell you is, don't hire a bunch of people. Hire the right people. Now, what do you mean by right people? Let's see that. So, do you want to hire the top performers? Or do you want to hire the average performers? Or team players? What do you think you should be hiring for? Top performers? But team players, this is a good seminar workshop answer. In reality, what do? In reality, you are going here. Top performers. Top performers don't work. I'm sorry. But that's the real. That's fact of life. Let me also tell you, today in the market what we have brilliant people working with broken processes, producing pathetic results. See what I'm saying? We have brilliant people, that is top performers, working with broken processes, producing pathetic results. What you need is average people working with beautiful processes, producing great outcomes. But we are there on the side. Na? Anybody here thinks that they are team players? Sorry, anybody who thinks they are top performers? ये statement के बाद तो कोई हाथ भी ऊपर नहीं कर रहा है. I'm sure about it. Oh, there is one guy. हवा दे रहा था या हाथ ऊपर किया पता नहीं चला मेरे को. Okay. How many of you believe you are average performers? Your bosses are not here now. Just check it out before you put your hand up. Because acha, next Monday morning you are in the cabin. Become team players. But how to become team, or how should you choose a person that will become a team player is what is now important. So let's get into it. So what I would say is hire for attitude and aptitude along with learnability. That's all that is expected. That's all that is required. Everything else can be done. If learnability is there, I can teach people. But if learnability is missing, then nothing will happen. And remember, you and I are in the industry where what was working 2 months ago, there is a new tool, there is a new process, there is a new certification, there is something new in the market. So learnability now becomes more important. Don't worry, I'm married. You don't need to take my photograph. I'll give you this presentation. Don't worry. Hiring requires a change of approach. Now, when change of approach is required, who is hiring? The HR, the recruitment team, or the talent acquisition team, whatever you call it in your organization. The best part is they have no clue what Agile is. They have no clue. And the best part is they should not also know what is Agile, but they should know how to spot the right person, the right ingredient. The right ingredient has to be there. Today during the lunch, I was one of those last guys to have lunch. And then I saw the Manchurian that was there was absolutely ice cold. So I called the guy who was doing the banquet. I said, can I get something hot? He looked at me, upar se niche dekha. Well, yes, sir. 5 minutes later, he got a bowl where there was hot Manchurian specifically made for me. Should I be happy? No. Why is he serving me only? Rest others don't deserve it. Think about it. Just because someone complains, someone addresses the complaint, that's a wrong idea. That's absolutely a wrong idea for me. It has to be for everyone. So find out people in your teams that will work for everyone. And that is where I'm introducing a concept which is called DISC, or Predictive Assessment Test. These are two international tests. DISC is kind of an evaluation method to identify a personality of a person. Similarly, predictive assessment, and I'm going to talk a little bit more on the predictive assessment for now. Traits are habits, thought patterns, and emotions. Do remember, identify what kind of person you want. Don't identify the skills that you want. Identify the type of person that you want. The person is important, not the skills. As I said, skills can be developed. But you can't develop a person. So identify those things is what I would say. Align your team and identify strengths to improve your team interaction and outputs through which outcomes will come in. Having said that, look here. This is where I come at. There is a concept of predictive assessment index, PI index. It is not a program increment of SAFe. It's predictive assessment, and I'll talk a little bit about it. What it is, it measures your behavior. And remember, behavior is what will count at the end of the day in the system. Your behavior will carry you forward. Having said that, it's basically a kind of 3 questions. 100 answers are there. You can pick up any amount of answers that you want. It will hardly take you 10 minutes. There are no right or wrong answers. The way you answer helps us to understand your behavior pattern, helps me to understand your personality pattern. And let me tell you, in my organization, if you apply, after your screening has been done, we do your round one. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, round one is still technical, which I hate. Round two is you have to appear for this test. And this test tells me, should I move forward with this guy or not? Doesn't matter what you did in L1, your round one, but if this test result is not coming out to the way we want it, or the way we desire that particular role, that profile that we are looking out for, then I don't need to hire you. However good you may be. You may even come and tell me I'll work for free. It doesn't matter. So there are 4 things in which this PI assessment breaks down. Dominance. Dominance means, as a person, how dominant character I am. No, not to listen to anybody, just do my job. Listen to me. That's dominance. Extraversion. Extraversion meaning how outgoing I am, how social I am. Am I popular with people? Am I working with people? That is what this parameter will measure. Patience. Patience meaning, am I impatient or patient towards the kind of job that I'm doing? And last, formality. Do I respect processes? Or I can tweak the process and do it the way I want it. You know, get through the line in Pashupati Nath and sneak in. I discovered something that someone, not to name, we have done some setting with the pujari. Get inside. That's like formality broken. That's like formality broken. You get inside. So these are the 4 parameters on which a person is evaluated. And the report comes out on those 4 parameters. What you see on the right-hand side are the 17 profiles that exist in the market. There is not an 18th profile. And let me tell you, as per historical data, your profile, your personality profile gets established by the age of 17 years. Your 17 years, not working 17 years. Your age of 17 years, and it doesn't change unless there is a life-changing, a threatening moment. Like, for example, all of a sudden you became a billionaire. Then possibly your attitude will change. Or you had an accident or something or the other happened. Unless that happens, these are 17 profiles. I'm not going through each of the profile, but I'll talk about a few of them. Now this profile, I'm taking the first profile, which is like the analyzer profile. I've broken down into 4 parameters. If I was an analyzer, if my personality was an analyzer, what does that mean? It means I need, as a person, to always understand the big picture. Don't give me details. Show me the big picture, I understand. Room for introspection. That means give me space to do my job. Give me space to review my own self. That is my need. Opportunities to work at a faster pace. Someone was telling in the morning that to do something, that guy had to take 7 approvals. That's not a fast pace. Last, freedom from risk of errors. Risk of errors, that means if something goes wrong, you will not be crucified. There's a tolerance level. Remember what Ajay says? Fear of failure should not be there. So I need failure risk. What is a behavior pattern? If you find a person in an analyzer profile, that guy would be very assertive. Assertive meaning he'll push his agenda forward. Intense, he's very thorough. If you are going to work with a guy who is an analyzer profile, then these are the kind of things that you should be doing. Don't micromanage them. They are not the guys that you should be micromanaging. If you micromanage, he's going to blast you and he's going to run away. They'd like to express and implement their own ideas. See, that's the kind of profile that you're getting. Now you think, if you had an analyzer profile, do you think that guy will make a good Scrum Master? Read everything that is there here. Do you think that guy will make a good Scrum Master? Do you think that guy will make a good developer? Do you think that guy will make a good QA guy in the development team? Or do you think he'll be a good product owner? Remember, Agile only had those 3 roles. This guy will become a good product owner. So you should know whom to hire. It's a personality that demands. I'll show you one more. No, that's what. The analyzer profile would have been better as a product owner or a product manager as per us. Okay. This is one more profile I'm showing you, a strategic. That guy is a strategist. Now, when that guy is a strategist, look what he wants. This guy wants variety, flexibility, time to develop expertise. This guy is authoritative, result-oriented, decisive, calculated risk maker, self-motivated, delegates more often, highly organized. What do you think if he's a strategist and you look at everything that is there, do you think he'll make a good Scrum Master? A good developer? If everyone is a strategist and who is becoming a developer, then no code will ever get developed because they will only develop strategies. This guy would be a good sponsor or a business owner. But what happens? When you are hiring people, you don't even know their personalities. We have hired that guy because उसने 4 Scrum का आंसर बरोबर दिया. अरे यही तो बंदा है. ले लिया. पता चला वो strategist. काम तो करेगा नहीं. Strategist का मतलब है strategy बनाना. He's the guy who will make strategies. And if he's the guy who's going to make strategies and who's going to execute, you're putting him in an executioner job, whereas his profile is a strategist job. You have a misfit. The guy is not wrong. Remember, the guy is not wrong. But what happens? You and I believe that the guy is wrong. Because he's not working. So that's the reason I asked, are we hiring the right guy for the wrong job? Or are we having a wrong guy for the right job? Think about it is all that I'm trying to highlight. I'm giving you now one more profile, and that's a profile of collaborative. See the pattern? Cooperative, empathic, patient, casual. What do you think? These 4 parameters that I'm talking about, what do you think in Agile, which role will demand this? A developer? Collaborative? Shouldn't the developer community be collaborative? You be on your own? There's no UX designer in Scrum. Sir, you're going against Scrum Guide. Huh? There are only 3 roles. But if you're talking safe, then my friends in safe community will become happy. Because you can have anything there. Let them collaborate, like to involve others, show them love. They want consistency, dependency, keep it friendly. They don't like competitive pressure. Competitive pressure meaning, she as a developer produced 7 story points, I have not even done 2. That's pressure. I was telling someone in the morning that for me, pressure only comes in the morning. Rest, because of me, other guys have pressure. So why are we talking even about that? You again need someone who is having patience with routines. You know, before me, the guy who was talking, Umar, was talking about code review has been done, stories have been closed, the sprint has to be closed. You know, you need people having patience with routines. Routines have to be followed. There has to be a level of discipline. So what I'm trying to help you understand is there are 17 different types of profiles. Getting the right profile for the right job is important rather than getting a person who knows the job to do the job. Because I can always train people. See, again and again, I'm bringing back the same point. I can train people. But I cannot develop attitude and aptitude for people. And that's where industry is facing trouble. Why? Because we don't know. You know, very recently in my own organization, one of the projects was a disaster. And it was like a project which was like a hybrid project, you know. I know there's nothing called hybrid, but khichdi. Scrum, Kanban, project management, all of that. And Sugam will not like it, but there was CPI, SPI, everything involved there. So all of that was there. And that project was a disaster. And then we have wanted to hire one more new guy. And best part, this guy was asked to do the interview of that guy. When this guy cannot manage his or her own project, what is the guarantee that he'll hire the right guy? He will also find, "Arey, ye mere jaise hi aaja." That is the problem. That's what I said. The less competent people are evaluating more competent people, and that's the problem of our industry. And unless this problem is getting resolved, nothing will ever work in life. Nothing will ever work. So moving on, unfortunately you can't see that, but as I said, this is the kind you get a sample report. You can look at the sample report, look at the data and all, and it helps you to understand whether the person is social. Like if you have a Scrum Master, you need a social guy. You need a guy who will talk to people, who will interact with people, who will gel with people and all of that. But if you're going to get a reserved character, game over. So think about it as what you are hiring as you go forward. Now, along with PI, I would also like you to think about one more new angle that I'm bringing in called EQ, emotional quotient. The emotional stability of that guy is equally important as much as his personality profile is. So when you combine these two, you can actually do a great job. I remember once in Singapore, we were doing an assignment, and then we told the customer that we'd like to evaluate your team. And we told them to do this profiling. And after that, we got the results. We went to the management and then asked a particular, I forgot your name, sir. Sugin. So, sorry, I'm taking you as an example. So we went to the management and said, tell us something more about Sugin. And they said, in the team, there are 10 people. Why are you asking only of this guy? We said, we want to know something. They said, we don't get well along with him. Nobody gets well along with him. Sorry. I said, yeah, that's exactly our finding. This is the guy, he's not fit in this. We are not saying he's a wrong guy. We are saying he's not the guy for this team. You put him in some other team, possibly magic will happen. They listened to us. They put him on a separate team. Now, what we also did was, we identified a lot of people within the organization. When they saw the results, they said, okay, do for the entire organization, do the PI. So we gave everyone the link, and within 20 minutes, everyone had done, and we had all the... So we started scanning the profile, and then we started understanding what the kind of project it is. And based on that, we started suggesting them that if this is your team, you need to make this guy into this team and that person out of this team. Because that's the kind of right mix you want. Have you ever tasted a tea where there was no sugar? And have you ever tasted a tea where there was a little extra sugar? Both the cases, you are in trouble. If you are a diabetic patient, extra sugar is a problem. If you're like me, with diabetes, I love sugar. And if I don't get that, I'm in trouble. Remember, the proof of the pudding is not when seeing it. The proof of the pudding is in eating it when you realize there is a salt or a sugar inside. By looking at it, it looks beautiful. So that's what I'm trying to help you understand, that when you talk about emotional intelligence, you are talking of self-awareness of that guy, empathy, motivation, self-regulation, social skills. All these are equally important for you in order to make the right team. Imagine in a football, the center forward is running with the ball and never passing the ball to anybody. What will happen? No, that's not the right. He may score a goal once upon a time. But then that's not the right guy in your team. He's not a team player. He's a great guy, great skills. But that guy is not a team player. How many times have you seen in football or soccer where your team is on the losing last 7 minutes, and what they do? They remove the goalkeeper and get one more guy in the team. Like, come, play on the forward. Anyway, we are losing. So let's try to make a goal because the goalkeeper will be standing there. And goalkeeper by default has a habit of catching the ball. So if he catches the ball outside the square, penalty. So now what they do? They remove the goalkeeper and get a regular guy to play. So now you're playing with 11 people on left. Guys who are on the defense, they also go and play in forward because your role has changed. Because now we have to win the match. So you need that kind of mentality in the system. Unfortunately, that mentality is missing in the industry. That is why I say, along with I do emotional quotient as a rate. Let me tell you the tools that I'm talking. They are available in the market. You have to buy them, purchase them, and then use them. Let me also tell you, in my organization today, hiring is done on PI assessment. The PI is not looking good for the profile. The person may be good, but he's not suitable for that particular job based on his PI profile, then that guy is not getting hired. However good that guy may be. Now that discipline has to come in. And let me tell you, we had to force our management to get into the discipline mode. There is no free lunch. You thought you got free lunch? No, you had already paid for it today. All right? So there is no free lunch, but as they say, quality is free. You know this book, there is a book called Quality is Free. It is written by this guy called Phillips Crosby. Then he wrote the second book, Quality is Still Free. These two good books, so you should buy them. The book is not free, just to let you know. The book is not free, and these books were written in 1960s. What he's trying to tell you is that if you have good quality, you know, Umar was talking that the number of defects came down. If defects came down, do you see in his next slide, he immediately showed my velocity went up? You saw the data. That's what I say, the defect, if you're reducing, if you're improving your quality, you're getting your outcome elsewhere. So quality is free. And when I say quality is free, I'm talking in the same way the organization needs to invest in tools such as PI and PQ and utilize them to hire the right people. Remember, every organization, irrespective of the industry, runs on people. Even AI, ChatGPT was made by a person like you and me. And it is utilized by a person like you and me. But unfortunately, ChatGPT is equal to Pashupatinath today. कुछ भी हुआ जाओ उधर डेटा मिलेगा थोड़ा मसाला लगाओ डेटा हो गया तुम्हारा nobody knows because nobody will go to ChatGPT na. And what I've also done some research on ChatGPT, you ask the same question in two different styles, you get two different answers. So that guy is not also intelligent. So let me tell you, you need to get the right level of ROI. Having said that, my last 2 cents, when you need a collaborative profile, when you need a profile where the guy will be collaborative, you don't need to hire a profile which shows individualistic. Now, you and I don't know whether the guy is individualistic because we don't do EIS, PI assessments. So we have no clue about his background. We have no clue about his background. So you are in a dark dungeon. It's time for you to wake up and smell the Himalayan Java coffee. They paid me to say that. Just kidding. All right. Get the PI assessment done for yourself and for your team for free and see the results. I will give you links. I will give you the name of the people. Tell them you want to try it. Get it. Once you get the report, they will not read the report for you. Call me up. I'll read the report for you. I'm a qualified PI facilitator, so I can do all of that for you. Take the brave step and decide today. Hire the right people with the right attitude, right aptitude. Someone there is already saying, both ho gaya, abhi jaane do humko. And that's where it is. Thank you all. Appreciate. Any questions? पूरा दिन के बाद भी क्वेश्चन है अरे बाप रे अच्छा बोलो बोलो I'll come to you and I'll repeat the question, don't worry.
Actually, I've had experience with these assessment tools. Some problems that I have faced is that they don't give the right picture of you.
They don't give the right picture of you because you think and you answer. When you give this assessment tools, you don't have to think, just answer what you think. If you start thinking, ye right, you're already fabricating the tool. The tool has to be answered, tick, tick, tick. It should not take more than 7 minutes to answer it. The moment you start thinking, ye do ya ye tick karu ya wo tick karu, you had it. You have already malfunctioned the tool. So don't think. It will give you the... And let me tell you, I have done this, and just to let you know, Arey, nikal diya. And I'm pressing this. Let me tell you, I have done this PI assessment myself. In a span of 8 years, I have done it 3 times, and it has shown exactly the same results. Because your personality doesn't change. All right. Huh, sir? You should know what kind of people you need. You need... or you need... Chal, saath mein ghumne jayenge. You have to figure that out, boss. Every job demands a different approach. Find out who your customer is, find out what kind of project that you are doing, find out your management, find out your culture of the organization, find out the tools that you do, and based on that, find out what profile. Remember, just talking about cricket, if the pitch is spinning, you don't take fast bowlers with you. You lose a match. And if the pitch is a pitch, you don't take spinners. I don't know if you watched the India-South Africa match which happened a week ago. It got over in 627 balls, to be precise. The entire test match got over. India had one spinner, and he was literally not, because the race was there. So you have to find the right strategy. Find out the right conditions, so you will know what you have to do. All right? So thank you all. Appreciate.